When we talk about apostolic teaching, the first thing we need to understand is where its authority came from. It did not come from the church. It did not come from a council. It did not come from tradition. It came from Jesus Christ. The apostles were men Christ personally chose and commissioned. They were not simply good teachers or early church leaders. They were witnesses of what Jesus said and did. They heard his teaching, saw his works, witnessed his death, and became witnesses of his resurrection. Jesus gave them the responsibility of carrying his message to others. That is why their teaching had authority. Acts tells us that the first Christians continued steadfastly in the apostles' doctrine. That statement is simple, but it is very important. The early church was not built around changing opinions. It was built around the teaching of those whom Christ had appointed. Paul makes the same point when he says the church was built on the foundation of the apostles and prophets, Jesus Christ himself being the chief cornerstone. A foundation is something that is laid at the beginning. You do not keep laying the same foundation over and over again. Once it is laid, everything else is built upon it. When we put all of this together, the New Testament gives us a clear pattern. Christ is the source. The apostles are the authorized witnesses. They preach the message. They write the message. The church receives it. Faithful teachers guard it. The next generation learns it. Then they pass it on again. That is how apostolic teaching continues. The church preserves the message, but it does not become a new source of revelation. The apostles laid the foundation. The church is called to build upon it faithfully. That is why Scripture remains so important. It gives the church a permanent, public, and testable record of the apostolic witness. The safest place for the church is not above Scripture, beside Scripture, or beyond Scripture. It is under Scripture. Christ stands above his church. The apostles bore witness to Christ, and the church must continue steadfastly in the apostles' doctrine until Christ returns.